And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Safety Systems, audiovisual setups, home theater systems, home automation. That includes lights, climate control, doors and windows that you can lock all at the push of a button. Doors and windows that lock. That doesn't sound impressive. Everybody's got that. But we're talking about make it lock with the push of a button on your smartphone or tablet. And, of course, the best security and life safety systems in America. All right here, locally owned, family-owned company, Safety Systems, nearly 20 years in the business. And, folks, I love this company. You should give them a shout. All right, over at the Great Wall of Hoops, you'll see that the Vols went 2-2 in this block. Their worst performance since we hung that thing up. They went 3-1 the first one. They went 4-0 the next one. And, Mark, back when we first hung this thing up, we said, what's the toughest quadrant?
Yep.
And we said, upper right.
Yep.
So it wound up being that way, and you lose 2 of your 3 road games. The win at Kentucky really looks big now in hindsight. To have lost another road game or to have lost to Kentucky there would have been a real pain. This week, Tennessee has a 9 o'clock Wednesday tip-off against Florida, another team that's gone 1-2 in its last 3 games. They're just 1 game behind Tennessee. Midweek crowds haven't been great for Tennessee. They're going to need them this week. Thoughts on Florida for Mark?
Yeah, I mean, Florida's got the third best road record in conference. They've actually got a 4-3 record on the road, which most teams are way under 500 in this league. And it's a lot to do with Chris Chiozza, a Tennessee kid. He's got 84 assists and only 21 turnovers in conference play, really takes care of the ball. And Michael White, their offense is ball screen oriented. And so what we saw Tennessee struggle with a little bit versus Georgia in their ball screens, they're going to see a lot of that come Wednesday night. And if we're not prepared to guard it, it could be trouble.
Florida, your thoughts, Isaiah, your thoughts on Florida as someone who played against them in big games back in the early 2000s. As a matter of fact, I think the last time you were here, we dug up a clip of you tearing up Florida from ESPN. Your thoughts on that rivalry and how big this game is?
Yeah, that clip was just 1 game, so there's a lot of more battles in there, and I mean, it's nobody to play around with, man. They're going to come in. It's bad blood already. It's probably our biggest basketball rivalry from when I played. And, I mean, they got a lot to prove. They're right there, right behind us in the SEC standings. They see we're wounded, and, I mean, they're going to come for us. So we got to turn it into a fight early, and we got to get the job done.
Yes, let's go back to the wall over there if we can get a shot there. Chuck, lean back there. We got, all right, the 4 games remaining, that lower right quad. You got Florida, then at Ole Miss, at Mississippi State, Georgia. Ole Miss going to be playing out the string probably with Andy Kennedy. They've lost 4 in a row. He's finishing up his stay down there. Mississippi State, dangerous team, especially on the road. Georgia's not a great team, but they certainly have your number. You get them back here, though. All right, so let's say if you go 2-2, you're 21-9, which is a heck of a year.
Think about that, 21-9 when you're picked 13.
But 21-9, people be happy, should be happy with that. But here's the thing: if that's 2-2, if you go 2-2, there's questions as to whether or not you finish in the top 4 in the SEC. If you don't finish top 4, you don't get the double bye. And if there's ever a school that needs the double bye in the SEC tournament, it's Tennessee, who never had success in the SEC tournament. Guys, do you think they get there?
I'm going to say that they will get the double bye. But for me, it's such a tournament sport. The SEC tournament is great. If you win the SEC tournament, you want to win it. But to me, it's how do I get prepared for the NCAA tournament. That's the bigger picture to me. And so I think the double bye is big for this team to be prepared, more prepared for the NCAA tournament.
Isaiah, you think they finish top 4?
I think so, yeah. I think we get it together. Like I said, it's not that bad anyway, and nobody out there is just so great, especially our last 4 games. So we should be able to win enough to get in that top 4. But at the same time, it's ultimately about the NCAA tournament, just as Mark said. But you want to have a good showing at the SEC tournament too. It feel good to win one, actually.
Yeah, for the first time since 1979.
Yeah,
a lot of Vol fans out there agree with you. Mike, Chuck, do you think they'll finish top 4?
I think they will. It'd be nice to be Florida because there may be a head-to-head thing involved there, which there wouldn't be with the other ones. So, but yeah, I think they'll hang in there, top 4.
I'm going to say, as we sit here today, the way Tennessee is playing, I'm going to say they lose a tiebreaker for the 4th spot. I just don't see enough right now to have confidence that they're going to turn it around.
It'll be interesting to see. If they go 2-2, I think they'll be okay because everybody. It looks like the SEC. I mean, even Auburn was 2-2 in the last 4. It looks like the SEC is starting to compress right now. Everybody's starting to come back together toward the middle. It appears. So I think 2-2. Arkansas is about the hottest team in the league. I don't know that anybody else is going to shoot past you. If you're 2-2, I think you're probably going to hold your seed, but we'll see. Isaiah, thanks for joining us. Always good to have you down here in Knoxville on the show. Mark, we'll see you next week. Always good to have you here. And we'll be back with Chuck and Mike, so you're going to see them in the next segment. Bob and Ryan come back out. We got two interesting topics. Frank Martin compared the Vols to his Final Four team. Is that a legit comparison? Also, in terms of beer and wine at Neyland Stadium, there's a school that went and made a lot of money doing that, selling it for the first time this year. Was that coming to Neyland Stadium once they see the money that's out there? Come on back.